In today's fast-paced world, where stress is often seen as a byproduct of productivity, many of us find ourselves overwhelmed by the smallest of issues. Whether it's the pressures of work, personal relationships, or the constant bombardment of daily challenges, we often overlook the impact that minor irritations and worries can have on our well-being. Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff by Richard Carlson offers a refreshing approach to managing life stressors and maintaining inner peace. Originally published in 1997, this best-selling book is a simple yet profound guide to living a happier and more peaceful life. It aims to help readers shift their perspective and reframe their relationship with the minor frustrations that can feel all-consuming. Rather than stressing over every little thing that goes wrong, Carlson encourages readers to adopt a mindset that puts everything into perspective, realizing that, in the grand scheme of things, most of our worries are trivial. The book consists of 100 short chapters, each offering a piece of practical wisdom that can be easily integrated into daily life. These lessons are not complex theories or abstract philosophies, but simple, actionable advice that can help anyone manage stress and find contentment in the present moment. Carlson's message is clear. Happiness is not about achieving perfection or controlling everything around us, but about learning to let go of small inconveniences and focusing on what truly matters. At its core, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff emphasizes mindfulness and self-awareness. Carlson advocates for the practice of accepting imperfections, being kinder to ourselves, and finding joy in the small moments. The book teaches readers that we are often our own worst critics, and by choosing to respond differently to stress, we can create a sense of inner calm and balance. One of the central themes of the book is the power of perspective. Carlson suggests that much of our anxiety stems from how we interpret situations. By learning to step back and reassess, we can develop a sense of resilience that allows us to move through life's challenges with grace and ease. The wisdom contained within this book is practical for anyone looking to reduce stress, improve their relationships, and live a more fulfilling life. Carlson's writing is both engaging and accessible, making it easy for readers from all walks of life to apply his principles to their own experiences. The lessons are rooted in universal truths, but they are especially valuable in a world where constant connectivity demands on our time and external pressures seem to heighten stress levels every day. Ultimately, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff is not just a self-help book. It's a reminder that peace and happiness are within our control. By learning to let go of insignificant worries, we free ourselves to focus on the things that truly bring us joy and fulfillment. Whether you're looking to reduce anxiety, improve your relationships, or simply feel more at ease, this book offers timeless wisdom to help you navigate life with greater calm and perspective. As we explore the core ideas and principles from Carlson's book, we will uncover practical tools for reducing stress and creating lasting happiness in the face of life's inevitable challenges. This book consists of 10 parts. Let's learn each part in detail. In the first section of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Richard Carlson presents a powerful and simple message. Don't sweat the small stuff. Every day, we face numerous worries, from the major to the trivial. However, Carlson points out that the small things we often worry about are truly insignificant and only add unnecessary stress and frustration to our lives. The importance of reducing anxiety. Carlson emphasizes that we are easily swept up in worrying about the small things without realizing that this actually diminishes our quality of life. He describes how, when we focus too much on little issues, they become emotional bombs in our minds, causing stress, discomfort, and making us lose our inner peace. According to Carlson, one of the reasons we tend to worry is because we don't know how to distinguish between what is truly important and what is temporary and inconsequential. Learning how to recognize this difference is a crucial step in reducing stress and living a calmer, more peaceful life. Developing the ability to filter out the unnecessary worries. The first part of the book discusses developing the skill of filtering out what is worth worrying about and what isn't. Carlson advises us to ask ourselves, will worrying about this really matter in a week, a month, a year, or the rest of my life? This simple yet powerful question helps us separate meaningful concerns from the trivial ones. One effective way to reduce anxiety is learning to let the unimportant things pass through you without getting involved. Carlson recommends that when faced with stressful situations or trivial problems, we take a moment to step back and question whether it's truly worth stressing over. This not only helps you feel lighter, but also helps protect your mental health. The lesson of accepting imperfection. A key lesson in the first part of the book is accepting the imperfection of life. Carlson asserts that nothing in life is perfect, and not accepting this fact only creates tension. We all make mistakes at times, and that's perfectly normal. However, instead of worrying and blaming ourselves for small errors, we need to learn to accept imperfection as part of the learning and growth process. Inner peace starts from within. Carlson also addresses the importance of finding peace from within. Once we realize that we can control our responses to stressful situations, we can significantly reduce anxiety and create a more peaceful life. He argues that instead of trying to control everything around us, we should focus on controlling ourselves and how we react to life events. Focus on what really matters. In life, we make countless decisions and face many different situations each day. Carlson encourages us to focus on what truly matters and can bring long-term value, rather than stressing over trivial matters. We cannot change everything around us, but we can change how we approach and respond to situations. One of the ways to focus on what matters is by setting clear priorities in our lives. Carlson encourages readers to create a list of the most important things in their lives and dedicate time to focusing on those instead of getting caught up in small, unimportant issues. Conclusion of Part 1. The first part of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, is not just a reminder to reduce anxiety, but also a significant lesson in how to perceive life. Carlson emphasizes that we don't need to make everything seem bigger or more complicated. Life can be much lighter when we learn to approach problems simply and not let trivial worries steal our inner peace. This is a valuable piece of advice that helps each of us become more patient, less anxious, and live a more comfortable life, just by learning to let go of the little things and enjoy life. Summary of Part 2. Learn to accept imperfection. In Part 2 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Richard Carlson focuses on one of the most important lessons for leading a peaceful and fulfilling life: accepting imperfection. He highlights that the constant pursuit of perfection often leads to frustration, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. The idea of accepting imperfection is central to finding inner peace and reducing unnecessary stress. The pressure of perfection. Carlson opens by explaining how we often place immense pressure on ourselves to be perfect in everything we do, whether it's our work, relationships, or personal appearance. He points out that society, with its emphasis on success and achievement, encourages this perfectionism. However, striving for perfection can be a double-edged sword, as it leads to constant dissatisfaction and burnout. Rather than seeking perfection, Carlson encourages readers to embrace the beauty of imperfection. He reminds us that no one is perfect and mistakes are an inevitable part of life. The sooner we accept this fact, the less stressed we will be. Striving for perfection often causes unnecessary stress, and it prevents us from appreciating the beauty in life's imperfections. Letting go of the need to be perfect. Carlson introduces the idea that in many situations, we can choose to let go of the need to be perfect. Instead of obsessing over small details or being overly self-critical, he suggests we focus on progress rather than perfection. Accepting imperfection doesn't mean settling for mediocrity, but rather acknowledging that mistakes and setbacks are part of the learning process. In this section, Carlson also stresses the importance of being kind to ourselves. We are often our harshest critics, and this negative self-talk can create unnecessary stress. By accepting our imperfections, we can reduce this inner criticism and foster self-compassion. The gift of imperfection in others. Carlson also encourages us to extend the same acceptance of imperfection to others. Just as we are imperfect, so are the people around us. When we hold others to unrealistic standards or expect them to be flawless, we create unnecessary tension in relationships. Instead, Carlson suggests embracing the idea that everyone has flaws and that it's okay not to be perfect. In relationships, this acceptance of imperfection leads to greater understanding and compassion. By letting go of unrealistic expectations for others, we can create healthier, more supportive connections. Seeing imperfection as part of the process. Carlson emphasizes that imperfection is not something to be feared or avoided. It is a natural part of life. He suggests that we view our imperfections as opportunities for growth. When we make mistakes or face challenges, it's a chance to learn, adapt, and improve. Embracing imperfection, therefore, helps us build resilience and wisdom. This shift in perspective allows us to approach challenges with more patience and grace, instead of feeling defeated by the slightest misstep. Carlson reminds us that life is a journey, and the pursuit of perfection can blind us to the lessons and growth that come from the inevitable imperfections along the way. Letting go of the shoulds. One of the key ideas in this section is the notion of letting go of the shoulds, the rigid expectations we place on ourselves. Many of us constantly say to ourselves, "I should be doing this," or "I should be better at that." These shoulds are often unrealistic and lead to unnecessary stress. By releasing these self-imposed expectations, we free ourselves from the pressure of trying to be perfect. Carlson advocates for a more flexible approach to life, one that allows room for mistakes, setbacks, and growth. Instead of judging ourselves harshly for not meeting expectations, we should embrace the fluidity of life and be more accepting of where we are at the moment. Accepting imperfection leads to freedom. Ultimately, Carlson argues that accepting imperfection is the key to freedom. When we stop chasing perfection, we stop putting ourselves in a constant state of pressure. This acceptance allows us to relax, be more present, and enjoy life more fully. It opens the door to creativity, learning, and personal growth because we are no longer paralyzed by the fear of failure. He also highlights that when we accept imperfection, we are less likely to sweat the small stuff. The little things that once seemed like problems become insignificant when viewed through the lens of imperfection. Instead of feeling defeated by mistakes, we learn to move forward with optimism and resilience. Conclusion of Part 2. In Part 2 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Carlson teaches us that by accepting imperfection, we can reduce stress, improve our relationships, and experience greater happiness. The pursuit of perfection often leads to frustration and unhappiness, but by embracing our flaws and the flaws of others, we can live a more peaceful and fulfilling life. By letting go of the need to be perfect and accepting the inevitable imperfections of life, we allow ourselves to focus on the present moment, appreciate our progress, and enjoy the beauty of life as it is, imperfect, yet perfectly beautiful. Summary of Part 3. Don't let others ruin your peace of mind. In Part 3 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Richard Carlson focuses on how to maintain your inner peace in the face of external pressures and how not to let the actions or behaviors of others disrupt your calm. This section highlights the importance of controlling your reactions to people, especially in situations where their behavior might be frustrating or upsetting. The power of your reactions. Carlson begins by emphasizing that while we cannot control the behavior of others, we always have control over how we react to them. He argues that the key to maintaining peace of mind is in choosing how we respond. When someone behaves in a way that is upsetting or hurtful, it's easy to react negatively or emotionally. However, Carlson encourages us to remember that our reactions are our responsibility, and we have the power to choose a more balanced, calm response. This idea is rooted in the concept of personal responsibility. Carlson suggests that instead of reacting impulsively to the actions of others, we take a step back and choose to respond with patience, kindness, and understanding. When we respond mindfully rather than react defensively, we preserve our peace of mind and prevent stress from taking hold. Letting go of control. Another key point Carlson makes is about letting go of the desire to control other people. Often, we try to influence or change others' behavior, especially in relationships, but this is a futile effort that only leads to frustration. Carlson advises that we should stop trying to control or fix people and instead focus on controlling our own responses to them. By letting go of the need to control, we free ourselves from unnecessary tension. We can't force others to act a certain way, but we can control how we react when they don't meet our expectations. This mindset shift can create more harmonious relationships and prevent us from internalizing others' behaviors. Setting boundaries with others. In this section, Carlson discusses the importance of setting healthy boundaries in relationships. Having clear boundaries doesn't mean distancing yourself from others. It means being able to assert your needs and maintain your peace without feeling guilty. He encourages readers to establish limits on what they will tolerate from others and to stand firm in those boundaries. This is crucial for protecting our emotional well-being and ensuring that we don't allow others to overwhelm us with their needs or demands. Setting boundaries also involves learning how to say no when necessary. Saying no is a skill that helps preserve your energy and protects your time and resources. Carlson stresses that by saying no in a respectful way, we protect our peace of mind and avoid becoming overly stressed or resentful. Choosing peace over conflict. Carlson encourages readers to recognize that peace of mind is far more important than being right in every situation. Often, we get caught up in arguments or conflicts because we want to prove a point or win an argument. However, this often leads to unnecessary stress and negative emotions. Carlson advises that we should learn to choose peace over conflict. In situations where we might normally argue, he suggests practicing active listening and calmly communicating our perspective without trying to escalate the situation. Sometimes, agreeing to disagree and letting go of the need to win a conversation can be the most peaceful solution. The importance of forgiveness. Another important aspect of maintaining peace of mind is learning to forgive. Carlson writes that holding on to grudges or past grievances can weigh heavily on our emotional health. Forgiveness, he suggests, is a powerful tool for releasing negative feelings and moving forward with a lighter heart. When we forgive, we are not excusing others' actions, but rather releasing ourselves from the burden of anger or resentment. Carlson emphasizes that forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about freeing ourselves from the negative emotions that tie us to the past. Staying true to yourself. Carlson also reminds us that, while we should be considerate of others, we should not sacrifice our own values and needs for the sake of pleasing them. It's important to stay true to yourself and not let others' actions or opinions dictate your emotional state. By staying aligned with your values and not allowing others to steer you off course, you can maintain your peace and personal integrity. Conclusion of Part 3. Part 3 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, teaches us that the key to maintaining peace of mind lies in how we react to others and how we manage our own responses. By letting go of the need to control others, setting healthy boundaries, choosing peace over conflict, and practicing forgiveness, we can safeguard our emotional well-being. The power to stay calm and peaceful is within us, and by recognizing that we control our reactions, we can maintain our peace even in the most challenging situations. Carlson's message is clear. Don't let the behavior of others ruin your peace of mind. By learning to protect our inner peace, we can live more harmonious lives, free from unnecessary stress and conflict. Part 4. Make time for what matters. In Part 4 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Richard Carlson addresses the importance of prioritizing the things that truly matter in life. In a world that is constantly busy and filled with distractions, Carlson urges readers to take a step back and focus on the elements of life that bring the most meaning, fulfillment, and joy. The importance of prioritizing what matters. Carlson begins this section by emphasizing that many of us waste time on trivial activities, while the things that are truly important to us, our health, relationships, personal growth, and happiness, often take a back seat. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to get caught up in work, social obligations, and other commitments that, while important, can sometimes detract from the things that really bring us joy and fulfillment. He encourages us to reflect on our values and priorities. What do we truly want to focus on in our lives? Are we giving enough time and energy to the people and activities that bring us happiness? Carlson stresses that in order to live a fulfilling life, we must align our daily actions with our values and make sure we're dedicating enough time to the things that matter most. Stop putting off what matters. One of the central themes in this section is the idea of procrastination. Carlson points out that many of us tend to put off what really matters in favor of more immediate, less important tasks. Whether it's spending quality time with family, pursuing a passion, or taking care of our health, we often prioritize less important things because they seem easier or more urgent. Carlson suggests that we stop putting off the things that bring us happiness and fulfillment. He challenges readers to stop waiting for the perfect time to take action and start making small changes now. Small steps toward what truly matters can be taken every day, and these incremental changes can lead to a more meaningful and balanced life. Simplifying our lives. In this part of the book, Carlson also explores the concept of simplification. Modern life is often overloaded with commitments, material possessions, and information. We can become overwhelmed by all the demands on our time and energy. Carlson advises us to simplify our lives by cutting out the non-essential activities and distractions. Simplification doesn't mean doing less, but rather focusing more on the things that align with our true priorities. By simplifying, we can make more room for the things that matter most, such as spending time with loved ones, pursuing our passions, and enjoying life. The power of saying no. Carlson highlights the importance of saying no as a tool for maintaining balance and focus. Saying no is not always easy, but it is crucial for protecting our time and energy. He explains that by saying yes to everything, we often end up sacrificing our most important commitments. The ability to say no allows us to focus on what is truly important and avoid getting overwhelmed by obligations that do not align with our core values. In this context, saying no is an act of self-care. It allows us to preserve our energy for the things that will bring us the most joy and fulfillment, rather than overextending ourselves in areas that are not aligned with our true priorities. Making time for relationships. Another important aspect of this section is making time for relationships. Carlson discusses how easy it is to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life and neglect the relationships that matter most, whether with family, friends, or significant others. He emphasizes that quality time spent with loved ones is one of the most valuable investments we can make in our lives. Carlson suggests that we dedicate specific time for the people we care about and make sure that those relationships are nurtured. This could mean setting aside time for regular family dinners, scheduling one-on-one time with a friend, or simply making sure that you are present and engaged when spending time with others. The value of personal growth. Carlson also encourages readers to make time for personal growth. He explains that focusing on self-improvement, learning, and growth can lead to a more fulfilling life. Whether it's reading, practicing a hobby, or developing new skills, making time for personal growth allows us to cultivate a deeper sense of satisfaction and purpose. Taking time for personal growth is not selfish. It's necessary for becoming the best version of ourselves. Carlson argues that when we make time for our own development, we not only improve our own lives, but also enhance our ability to contribute to the lives of others. Creating time for enjoyment. Lastly, Carlson reminds us that enjoyment and relaxation are also essential components of a balanced life. Too often, we get so caught up in the demands of daily life that we forget to take time to relax and have fun. Carlson encourages us to carve out time for enjoyment, whether that means engaging in a hobby, taking a walk in nature, or simply enjoying a quiet moment of peace. He stresses that we must not feel guilty for taking time for ourselves. Rest and enjoyment are necessary for recharging and maintaining overall well-being. Without regular moments of relaxation, we risk burning out and losing touch with the things that bring us happiness. Conclusion of Part 4. In Part 4 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Carlson teaches us that time is a precious resource, and we must be mindful of how we spend it. By prioritizing what truly matters, simplifying our lives, saying no to unnecessary obligations, and making time for relationships, personal growth, and enjoyment, we can create a life that is more balanced and fulfilling. Carlson's message is clear. Don't let the small stuff take up all your time and energy. Focus on what really matters and make time for the things that bring you the most joy, peace, and fulfillment. Part 5. Live in the present moment. In Part 5 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Richard Carlson explores the importance of living in the present moment. He stresses that many of us spend too much time worrying about the past or the future, which causes unnecessary stress and prevents us from fully experiencing and appreciating life as it happens. The key to reducing stress and enhancing our overall well-being, according to Carlson, is to focus on the present and practice mindfulness. The problem with dwelling on the past and future. Carlson begins by discussing how easy it is to get caught up in the cycle of thinking about what has already happened or what might happen in the future. Both of these mental patterns, however, take us away from the present moment. Dwelling on past mistakes or regretting decisions can lead to feelings of guilt or frustration, while worrying about the future creates unnecessary anxiety. Carlson argues that while it's natural to reflect on the past and plan for the future, the key is not to let these thoughts consume us. He encourages us to focus on the now, because the present is the only moment we truly have control over. By doing so, we can experience life more fully and reduce the stress that comes from overthinking. Embrace the power of now. A major theme in this part of the book is the idea of embracing the power of now. Carlson emphasizes that the present moment is where life happens. Our happiness, peace, and fulfillment are all tied to our ability to engage fully with what is happening right now. The constant chase for something better in the future or the regret of something that happened in the past robs us of the joy that we could be experiencing in the present. He encourages readers to stop postponing their happiness and to recognize that the present moment is enough. By accepting that life is already happening, we can begin to savor and appreciate the little things, whether it's a conversation, a walk, or a quiet moment with ourselves. When we stop waiting for the perfect time to be happy, we begin to realize that happiness is available to us right now. Practice mindfulness. Carlson introduces the practice of mindfulness as a way to stay anchored in the present moment. Mindfulness involves being fully aware of and engaged with what is happening around us, without judgment or distraction. Whether you're eating, walking, or talking to someone, mindfulness encourages you to be present with your senses, your thoughts, and your surroundings. Mindfulness helps reduce stress by allowing us to focus on the experience at hand, rather than getting lost in worrying thoughts. It also helps us become more aware of our emotional responses, so we can choose how to react more consciously. Carlson suggests simple mindfulness practices, like taking a few deep breaths before reacting in stressful situations or focusing on the sensations around us when we feel distracted or overwhelmed. Don't wait for the perfect moment. One of Carlson's key messages in this section is to stop waiting for the perfect moment, to live fully. Many people put off enjoying life, thinking that happiness and peace will come later, once they achieve a goal, get a promotion, or reach a particular milestone. However, Carlson points out that this mindset often results in postponing joy indefinitely. Life is always moving forward, and if we're constantly waiting for the perfect conditions, we miss out on the present opportunities for happiness. Carlson urges readers to appreciate the current moment for what it is, rather than waiting for an idealized future. Whether things are going well or not, there is always something to be grateful for in the present. Let go of the need for perfection. Related to this idea is Carlson's advice to let go of the need for perfection. Too often, we delay taking action or enjoying life because we think things aren't perfect yet. We may wait for the right circumstances to travel, for a better time to start a new project, or for everything to fall into place before we take a break. However, this constant striving for perfection can lead to frustration and a sense of never being fully satisfied. Instead, Carlson encourages us to embrace imperfection and accept that life is not meant to be flawless. The idea of perfection often keeps us stuck in the past or future, hindering our ability to live fully in the present. By letting go of the desire for everything to be perfect, we can enjoy life more authentically and appreciate the beauty in each moment. Take time to enjoy the little things. Carlson also reminds us that the little things in life are often the most meaningful. When we're fully present, We notice the simple pleasures, like the warmth of the sun on our skin, the sound of laughter, or a moment of quiet reflection. These small moments, which we might overlook when we're preoccupied with worries or plans, are what make life rich and fulfilling. He encourages readers to slow down and truly savor these experiences without rushing through life or getting distracted by future goals. By paying attention to the present, we can rediscover the joy in life's small, everyday moments. The importance of gratitude. A central theme in Part 5 is the practice of gratitude. Carlson explains that focusing on what we are grateful for in the present moment helps shift our mindset from one of lack to one of abundance. Gratitude grounds us in the here and now and helps us appreciate the life we have, rather than constantly yearning for something more. By making gratitude a regular practice, we can foster a sense of peace and contentment. Carlson suggests that readers take a few moments each day to reflect on what they are grateful for, whether it's their health, relationships, or the beauty of nature around them. Conclusion of Part 5. In Part 5 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Carlson teaches us that living in the present moment is the key to reducing stress and finding peace. By focusing on the now, embracing mindfulness, letting go of perfection, and appreciating life's small moments, we can create a more fulfilling, joyful life. Carlson's message is clear. Don't wait for the future to be happy. The present is all you have. Part 6. Don't make mountains out of molehills. In Part 6 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Richard Carlson delves into how we tend to magnify minor issues and make them seem much bigger than they really are. He emphasizes that life is full of small annoyances and challenges, but it's how we react to them that determines the level of stress we experience. Instead of turning every little inconvenience into a major problem, Carlson encourages readers to learn how to put things into perspective and not let small obstacles derail their peace of mind. The tendency to overreact. Carlson begins by explaining the human tendency to overreact to small problems. Often, we encounter minor issues, like a traffic jam, a spilled drink, or an unexpected delay, and immediately blow them out of proportion. We get angry, frustrated, or anxious, as if these little problems are catastrophic. This reaction, according to Carlson, is not only unnecessary but also unhealthy. Overreacting to small issues increases our stress and makes us more likely to make decisions in haste, rather than responding thoughtfully. Carlson argues that our emotional reactions are often out of proportion to the problem itself. By exaggerating the severity of minor issues, we create unnecessary turmoil in our minds and lives. The more we focus on these small frustrations, the larger they appear, and the more we allow them to control our mood and actions. The power of perspective. One of the central ideas of this section is the importance of gaining perspective. Carlson encourages readers to step back and ask themselves whether the issue at hand will really matter in the long run. Will it matter in a week? A month? A year? If the answer is no, then it's not worth stressing over. This simple exercise can help us recognize that many of our worries are fleeting and insignificant. By developing a broader perspective, we can stop ourselves from making a mountain out of a molehill. Carlson reminds us that we have the power to decide how big a problem something will be. Instead of overreacting, we can choose to respond calmly, keeping in mind that most issues are temporary and solvable. Don't sweat the small stuff. A key message in this part of the book is that it's not the problem itself, but how we perceive and react to it that determines its impact on our lives. Carlson explains that if we choose to let small problems roll off our backs, we can avoid the unnecessary stress and frustration that would otherwise arise. It's a matter of choosing peace over panic, perspective over drama. When something small goes wrong, Carlson suggests taking a moment to pause and breathe. Give yourself space to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. This simple act of pausing can prevent us from turning small annoyances into big problems. Learning to let go. Carlson also talks about the importance of learning to let go. In our fast-paced lives, we often feel compelled to fix every little issue and control every situation. However, constantly trying to control and fix minor problems only adds to our stress. Carlson encourages us to let go of the need to control every detail of our lives and instead focus on what truly matters. Letting go doesn't mean ignoring problems or avoiding responsibility. Rather, it means recognizing that not everything requires an immediate or intense reaction. Some things simply don't need to be fixed. By letting go of this need, we free ourselves from the burden of unnecessary stress and find greater peace of mind. The importance of acceptance. Carlson emphasizes that acceptance is a powerful tool for preventing minor issues from becoming major problems. Instead of fighting against every inconvenience, we should practice accepting things as they are. This doesn't mean we become passive or apathetic, but rather that we acknowledge the reality of the situation and choose to respond with grace and calmness. Acceptance also involves understanding that life is full of imperfections, and that's okay. Things don't always go as planned, and sometimes minor setbacks are part of the process. By accepting life's natural flow, we are less likely to be thrown off course by small frustrations. Reframing negative thoughts. Another important strategy Carlson discusses is reframing negative thoughts. When we encounter small setbacks, our immediate reaction might be to think negatively. This is a disaster. I can't believe this is happening. Or this ruins everything. Carlson encourages us to challenge these thoughts and replace them with more constructive perspectives. For example, if we spill coffee on our clothes, instead of thinking, "This is terrible, now my whole day is ruined," we can reframe it as, "This is inconvenient, but it's not the end of the world. I can clean it up and move on." Reframing our thoughts helps us maintain a positive outlook and reduces the emotional intensity we attach to small problems. Creating a stress-free mindset. Carlson wraps up this section by suggesting that the key to creating a stress-free mindset is to develop a habit of looking at problems from a neutral perspective. When we refuse to overreact and allow ourselves to view situations more calmly, we create a more peaceful mindset. The less we exaggerate and blow up small issues, the less stress we accumulate over time. By making a conscious decision not to sweat the small stuff, we can improve our mental and emotional health. Carlson's advice is clear: don't let minor issues control your life. By changing how we react to the small stuff, we can live with more ease and happiness. Conclusion of Part 6. In Part 6 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Carlson teaches us how to avoid making small problems feel larger than they really are. By gaining perspective, accepting imperfection, reframing negative thoughts, and learning to let go, we can stop turning minor annoyances into major stressors. The ability to choose how we respond to life's small challenges is a powerful tool for creating a more peaceful, fulfilling life. Carlson's message is clear: don't sweat the small stuff, and remember that it's all small stuff. By applying this mindset, we can keep our emotional well-being intact and avoid letting insignificant problems steal our peace of mind. Part 7. Keep the big picture in mind. In Part 7 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Richard Carlson encourages us to keep the big picture in mind and not get bogged down by small setbacks or daily annoyances. He emphasizes that when we focus too much on the minor details of life, we can lose sight of what truly matters. By maintaining a broader perspective, we can reduce stress and increase our overall happiness. The danger of getting lost in details. Carlson begins by discussing the common habit of focusing on the small stuff. Many of us get caught up in the little irritations and inconveniences that arise every day, such as being late for an appointment, dealing with a difficult person, or facing a minor mistake. While these issues can be frustrating, Carlson reminds us that they are temporary and often insignificant in the grand scheme of life. By getting stuck in these small details, we tend to lose sight of our long-term goals and the bigger picture of life. Carlson argues that when we focus too much on the present moment or on small inconveniences, we may find ourselves overwhelmed and stressed. Instead, we should remember that most of what seems like a big problem today will be forgotten in a week or a month. Understanding the big picture. Carlson emphasizes the importance of maintaining a sense of perspective and recognizing that life is much bigger than any one event or inconvenience. He encourages readers to step back and remind themselves that there are many things in life that are far more important than the small challenges they are currently facing. Relationships, health, personal growth, and peace of mind are the things that matter most in life, not temporary setbacks. He also stresses that life is short, and spending time and energy on trivial issues prevents us from focusing on the things that bring true meaning and fulfillment. By keeping the big picture in mind, we can avoid becoming fixated on things that don't truly matter in the long run. Reframing challenges as opportunities. Carlson suggests that we reframe challenges in our lives as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to overcome. When faced with difficulty, it's easy to feel discouraged and overwhelmed. However, by shifting our perspective, we can see that every challenge is an opportunity to learn and improve. For example, if we face a setback at work or in a relationship, rather than getting frustrated or stressed, we can ask ourselves, what can I learn from this experience? This shift in mindset helps us stay calm, patient, and open to personal growth. Carlson reminds us that growth often comes from challenges and that we can use these experiences to become stronger and more resilient. Letting go of perfectionism. In this section, Carlson again touches on the idea of letting go of perfectionism. He explains that many of us are caught up in the need to get everything right, whether it's in our work, relationships, or personal achievements. This constant pressure to be perfect often leads to unnecessary stress and dissatisfaction. By focusing on the big picture, we can release the need for perfection. We don't need everything in life to be flawless in order to be happy. Accepting that mistakes and imperfections are part of life allows us to move forward with greater ease and less frustration. Being present, but looking ahead. While Carlson advocates for living in the present moment, he also stresses the importance of having a vision for the future. Keeping the big picture in mind doesn't mean ignoring the present or disregarding short-term challenges. Rather, it means that we approach everyday life with a sense of purpose and a clear understanding of our long-term goals. When we're focused on our larger vision, we're better able to put small setbacks into perspective. Carlson suggests that it's important to have both short-term and long-term goals, and we should use these goals as a guiding light to help us stay grounded during difficult moments. When we know where we're headed in life, it's easier to avoid getting bogged down by minor obstacles along the way. The importance of gratitude. Carlson also emphasizes the role of gratitude in keeping the big picture in mind. When we take the time to reflect on what we are grateful for, we shift our focus from the negative aspects of life to the positive ones. This simple practice can help us maintain a sense of balance and perspective, no matter what challenges arise. By regularly acknowledging the things we are grateful for, whether it's good health, supportive relationships, or personal achievements, we remind ourselves that there is much to be thankful for in life. This practice fosters a positive mindset and helps us stay focused on the big picture, rather than dwelling on small frustrations. Living with a sense of purpose. Lastly, Carlson encourages us to live with a sense of purpose and passion. When we are driven by something meaningful, whether it's a career goal, a personal mission, or a desire to help others, we are less likely to be consumed by the small stuff. Carlson suggests that purpose gives us a reason to persevere through difficulties and a reminder of what really matters. When we are clear about our purpose in life, we are better equipped to navigate the challenges and distractions that come our way. We can maintain our peace of mind because we know that our larger goals are worth the effort. Conclusion of Part 7. In Part 7 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Carlson teaches us the importance of keeping the big picture in mind. By focusing on what truly matters in life, reframing challenges as opportunities for growth, and letting go of perfectionism, we can reduce stress and live a more peaceful, fulfilling life. When we maintain a broader perspective, we stop making mountains out of molehills and begin to appreciate the true meaning of life. Carlson's message is clear. Don't let small setbacks distract you from the bigger picture. By keeping our vision focused on what's truly important, we can live with greater ease and joy, no matter what challenges come our way. Part 8. Be a good listener. In Part 8 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Richard Carlson focuses on the power of listening and how becoming a better listener can improve our relationships, reduce stress, and help us feel more connected to others. He emphasizes that listening is not just about hearing words, but about truly engaging with the person speaking and giving them our full attention. The power of listening. Carlson begins by explaining how important listening is in every aspect of life. Whether at home, at work, or in social situations, good listening is one of the most valuable skills we can develop. Unfortunately, many people are distracted while others are speaking, either by their own thoughts or by external distractions like their phones or the television. This lack of focus can lead to miscommunication, frustration, and a breakdown in relationships. Carlson stresses that listening actively, being fully present and engaged when someone is speaking, creates stronger, more empathetic connections with others. When we listen well, we make the other person feel valued and understood. It shows that we respect them and are interested in what they have to say. Listening versus hearing. Carlson makes an important distinction between hearing and listening. While hearing is a passive process where we simply process sound, listening requires active engagement. It involves paying attention to the speaker's words, tone, and body language, as well as focusing on the message behind the words. Listening goes beyond just absorbing information. It's about understanding and connecting with the speaker on a deeper level. Carlson encourages readers to be more mindful of their listening habits and to make a conscious effort to fully engage when someone is speaking rather than thinking about their response or what's happening around them. Why listening is so important. Carlson explains that good listening is key to resolving conflict, building trust, and enhancing relationships. In many situations, people just want to be heard and understood. When we listen attentively, we create a space for meaningful communication to happen. On the other hand, when we don't listen well, whether by interrupting, becoming distracted, or dismissing the other person's feelings, we create tension and misunderstandings. Listening is especially important in conflict situations, where emotions can run high. Carlson encourages us to listen without judgment or the urge to correct or solve the problem immediately. Sometimes, all someone needs is to be heard. By practicing active listening, we allow for open communication and create an environment where both parties feel valued. The benefits of being a good listener. There are many benefits to being a good listener, both for ourselves and the people around us. Carlson outlines a few of the key advantages. Stronger relationships. Listening helps to deepen our connections with others. People appreciate when they feel heard and understood, which can strengthen relationships, whether personal or professional. Less stress. When we are fully present during a conversation, we are less likely to become distracted or overwhelmed by other concerns. This focus reduces stress and helps us feel more calm and collected in interactions. Better understanding. Listening closely allows us to understand the other person's point of view. This understanding can lead to more effective problem-solving and conflict resolution. Improved empathy. Active listening encourages us to be empathetic toward others. It helps us step into their shoes and view the world from their perspective, leading to greater compassion and less judgment. Practical tips for becoming a better listener. Carlson offers several practical tips to improve our listening skills. Give your full attention. When someone is speaking, put away distractions such as your phone or computer. Make eye contact and focus on what the person is saying. This shows that you value their words. Don't interrupt. Allow the other person to finish their thoughts before responding. Interrupting can make the other person feel unheard and dismissed. Practice patience and give them the space to express themselves fully. Reflect and clarify. After the person has finished speaking, reflect back what you heard to ensure you understand. Phrases like, "What I hear you saying is," or "It sounds like you're feeling," can help clarify and validate the other person's feelings. Listen with empathy. Instead of focusing on what you want to say next, try to listen with empathy and an open mind. Understand the speaker's emotions and point of view without immediately offering solutions or judgments. Be present. Engage with the speaker by showing interest in their words. Nodding, asking questions, or providing feedback signals that you're fully involved in the conversation. Listening in different contexts. Carlson highlights that listening skills are important in all aspects of life, including at home, at work, and in social situations. At home, being a good listener helps to foster stronger family bonds and resolve conflicts more easily. At work, listening attentively to colleagues and clients improves communication, increases productivity, and enhances teamwork. In social settings, listening deeply creates stronger friendships and helps us connect with others on a more meaningful level. Carlson encourages us to think of listening as a gift we give to others. It allows them to feel valued, understood, and respected. The challenge of listening in today's world. Carlson acknowledges that in today's fast-paced, technology-driven world, listening can be more challenging than ever. With constant distractions from phones, emails, and social media, it can be difficult to be fully present in conversations. However, he encourages readers to make an effort to be more intentional with their listening. By consciously choosing to engage and be present, we can improve our relationships and reduce the stress that comes from miscommunication or misunderstandings. Conclusion of Part 8. In Part 8 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff and It's All Small Stuff, Carlson emphasizes the importance of being a good listener. By focusing on truly hearing others, we can build stronger, more meaningful relationships, reduce stress, and improve our overall well-being. Good listening is a simple yet powerful tool that can transform how we communicate and interact with others, allowing us to be more present, compassionate, and connected. Carlson's message is clear. Listening well is one of the most powerful ways to reduce stress and improve relationships. By practicing active listening, we create more peaceful, fulfilling interactions with the people in our lives. Part 9. Let go of the past. In Part 9 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff and It's All Small Stuff, Richard Carlson addresses the importance of letting go of the past and focusing on the present. He explains that many of us carry the weight of past mistakes, regrets, or emotional baggage, and this often prevents us from fully enjoying the present moment. Carlson encourages us to release old grievances and memories that no longer serve us in order to find greater peace and happiness in the present. The burden of the past. Carlson begins by discussing how the past often holds us captive, affecting how we respond to current situations. Many people have a tendency to ruminate over past events, whether it's a mistake at work, a disagreement with a loved one, or a missed opportunity. These past experiences, while significant at the time, no longer have the power to affect our lives unless we allow them to. He points out that constantly revisiting past events not only steals our peace but also blocks us from moving forward. By holding on to past pain, guilt, or resentment, we become stuck in a cycle of negativity that prevents us from embracing the present and future. The need to forgive. A central theme in this section is the importance of forgiveness, both forgiving others and forgiving ourselves. Carlson highlights that we often carry grudges or blame ourselves for things we can't change. However, holding on to these negative feelings only serves to increase stress and diminish our ability to find peace. Forgiveness, Carlson asserts, is not about excusing the behavior of others, but about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden of carrying around resentment. When we forgive, we let go of the emotional weight that ties us to the past and make space for new, more positive experiences. Carlson encourages readers to forgive themselves for their own mistakes, as self-blame only leads to guilt and frustration. By letting go of past regrets and accepting our imperfections, we can move forward with greater ease and a clearer perspective. Living in the present moment. One of Carlson's key messages in this section is that the present moment is all we truly have. While the past may shape us, it's no longer in our control, and worrying about it only takes away from the now. By constantly reliving past events, we lose the opportunity to enjoy the present moment. Carlson urges readers to practice mindfulness, which involves paying attention to the here and now. Instead of dwelling on what has already happened, we should focus on what we can control in the present and what we can learn from the current situation. He suggests simple mindfulness exercises, such as pausing throughout the day to check in with yourself and take note of your surroundings. This helps ground us in the present and prevents us from becoming lost in past regrets. The power of letting go. Carlson explains that letting go is a powerful tool for releasing past emotional baggage. When we let go of the past, we stop carrying around the weight of old wounds, grudges, or mistakes. This process of release allows us to live with more freedom and clarity. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting the past, but it means choosing not to let it control our emotions or dictate how we live our lives today. Carlson encourages readers to recognize that their past does not define who they are in the present. By focusing on the present moment and future possibilities, we can embrace life with a renewed sense of joy and peace. Breaking the cycle of negative thinking. A significant part of letting go is breaking free from the cycle of negative thinking. Often, when we hold on to past memories, we keep replaying negative thoughts in our minds, which leads to unnecessary stress and unhappiness. Carlson advocates for replacing these negative thoughts with positive affirmations and focusing on the potential for growth and happiness in the present and future. He also highlights the power of changing our narrative. Instead of seeing past events as failures or mistakes, we can choose to view them as learning experiences that have helped shape us. Reframing our past in a more positive light allows us to move forward without being weighed down by guilt or regret. The gift of the present. Carlson reminds us that the present is a gift. Too often, we get caught up in regrets about the past or anxieties about the future, but the present moment is the only time we can truly experience life. By learning to let go of the past, we open ourselves up to the beauty and possibilities of the present. He encourages us to appreciate the little things, whether it's a conversation, a walk in nature, or a moment of quiet reflection. These small moments, when fully appreciated, bring a sense of peace and fulfillment that is much more meaningful than dwelling on the past. Choosing peace over regret. Finally, Carlson emphasizes that peace is a choice. We can choose to let go of the past and live with greater calm and contentment. The process of letting go is not always easy, but it is a crucial step in reducing stress and living a more balanced, fulfilling life. Carlson's message is clear. The past does not have to define our future. By learning to forgive, let go of old hurts, and focus on the present, we can free ourselves from the emotional burden of the past and create a life filled with peace, happiness, and growth. Conclusion of Part 9. In Part 9 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Carlson teaches us that letting go of the past is essential for achieving peace and happiness in the present. By forgiving others, forgiving ourselves, and focusing on the present moment, we can free ourselves from the emotional baggage that holds us back. The past may have shaped us, but it no longer needs to control us. By choosing to live in the present, we can create a more fulfilling, peaceful life. Carlson's advice is simple. Let go of the past, embrace the present, and focus on the future. By doing so, we can reduce stress, improve our relationships, and find true happiness. Part 10. Keep your sense of humor. In Part 10 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Richard Carlson explores the powerful role that humor can play in reducing stress, improving our relationships, and helping us navigate life's challenges. He emphasizes that maintaining a sense of humor, even in difficult situations, can make life easier and more enjoyable. The power of laughter. Carlson begins by discussing the remarkable power of laughter and how it can shift our perspective in a positive way. He points out that when we laugh, we release tension, reduce stress hormones, and improve our mood. Humor can help us see life from a lighter perspective and make even the most frustrating situations seem less significant. Laughter, Carlson suggests, is an essential tool for staying grounded in the face of stress. When we choose to laugh at life's absurdities and imperfections, we prevent ourselves from becoming overwhelmed by challenges. Humor can act as a buffer against life's difficulties, allowing us to navigate them with a sense of ease and resilience. Don't take life too seriously. Carlson encourages readers to not take life too seriously. While it's important to be responsible and address challenges, it's equally important to remember that life is unpredictable and many things are beyond our control. By taking ourselves too seriously, we risk adding unnecessary weight to our lives and stressing over things that ultimately don't matter. Instead, Carlson urges us to embrace the absurdity of life. Life is full of unexpected twists, mistakes, and surprises, and sometimes the best thing we can do is to laugh at ourselves and the situations we find ourselves in. Humor allows us to view life with a sense of detachment, making it easier to bounce back from setbacks and move forward. The benefits of a lighthearted attitude. Carlson explains that having a lighthearted attitude toward life can provide many benefits, including reduce stress. Humor and laughter help lower stress levels and prevent us from getting bogged down by life's challenges. When we take things less seriously, we create a more relaxed atmosphere for ourselves and others. Improved relationships. Humor strengthens relationships by creating bonds and making interactions more enjoyable. People are naturally drawn to those who can laugh at themselves and find humor in everyday situations. Increased resilience. A good sense of humor helps us cope with difficult circumstances. Instead of getting stuck in negative thinking, humor allows us to reframe challenges and keep moving forward with a positive mindset. Humor as a coping mechanism. Carlson suggests that humor can be a powerful coping mechanism in the face of adversity. When we encounter obstacles or difficulties, our natural instinct may be to feel frustrated or defeated. However, by choosing to laugh at the situation or find humor in it, we can transform a stressful event into a manageable one. For example, if we make a mistake at work or experience a minor setback, instead of getting upset, we can laugh at the situation and see it as an opportunity for growth. Humor helps us detach from the negative emotions that often arise in these situations and allows us to move forward with a positive attitude. Seeing the funny side of stressful situations. In this section, Carlson encourages readers to look for the funny side of stressful situations. Even when things go wrong, there's often something humorous about the way they unfold. By taking a moment to step back and find the humor in a stressful situation, we can diffuse tension and prevent it from escalating. For example, if we miss an important meeting or experience a travel delay, instead of getting upset, we can laugh at the irony or inconvenience of the situation. Recognizing the humor in life's imperfections can help us maintain perspective and keep our stress in check. Humor and perspective. Carlson emphasizes that humor provides a fresh perspective on challenges. When we find humor in a difficult situation, we reframe it as something less intimidating or serious. This shift in perspective makes it easier to cope with challenges and find solutions, rather than getting stuck in frustration or negativity. Humor helps us view life setbacks as temporary and insignificant. By seeing the funny side of things, we remind ourselves that most of the issues we face are not life or death matters, but rather small bumps along the road. This perspective helps us maintain a sense of calm and focus on what truly matters. Encouraging laughter in others. In addition to using humor to cope with stress, Carlson also highlights the importance of sharing laughter with others. By making an effort to bring humor into our interactions, we create a more joyful and positive environment. A good laugh is contagious, and by sharing it with those around us, we spread positivity and help others feel lighter and more at ease. Carlson encourages readers to embrace the role of the funny person in their social circles, not necessarily as a comedian, but as someone who can bring joy and laughter into everyday situations. This doesn't mean being inappropriate or making light of serious issues, but rather looking for moments of levity and finding joy in the small things. Conclusion of Part 10. In Part 10 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff, Carlson teaches us that humor is an invaluable tool for navigating life's challenges. By not taking life too seriously, embracing laughter, and finding humor in stressful situations, we can reduce stress, improve our relationships, and maintain a positive outlook on life. Humor helps us keep perspective, maintain our resilience, and enjoy the present moment, regardless of what life throws our way. Carlson's message is clear. Don't take life too seriously, and always make time for laughter. By adopting this mindset, we can navigate life with a lighter heart, greater joy, and reduced stress. In conclusion, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff by Richard Carlson offers timeless wisdom for anyone feeling overwhelmed by the demands of daily life. Carlson's central message is simple yet profound. Don't let the minor issues, frustrations, and imperfections of life dictate your emotional state or steal your peace of mind. By learning to focus on what truly matters, cultivating inner peace, and adopting a more balanced perspective, we can navigate the complexities of life with greater ease, joy, and fulfillment. One of the most important ideas presented in the book is the realization that we often make mountains out of molehills. Our tendency to exaggerate problems, dwell on the past, or stress about the future only serves to add unnecessary stress and anxiety to our lives. Carlson encourages us to shift our focus from the trivial and fleeting issues to the bigger picture, the things that bring us true happiness and meaning. Life is short, and it's easy to get bogged down by the small stuff. Yet, by choosing to let go of the small, insignificant things, we free ourselves to experience life more fully. The author also emphasizes that our happiness and emotional well-being are largely within our control. We don't have to let external circumstances or the behavior of others determine how we feel. By practicing self-awareness, choosing how we react to stressors, and staying present in the moment, we empower ourselves to create a life that aligns with our values, goals, and desires. Carlson's message of empowerment is clear. We hold the keys to our own peace and joy, and it's up to us to use them wisely. A major theme that runs throughout the book is the importance of letting go of perfectionism. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with ideals of success, beauty, and achievement, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that everything must be perfect in order to be happy. Carlson teaches us that imperfection is not only natural but beautiful. Life's imperfections are what make it interesting and meaningful. By embracing imperfections, whether in ourselves, others, or our circumstances, we can reduce the stress that comes with trying to maintain an unrealistic standard of perfection. Another essential lesson from the book is the value of forgiveness. Holding on to past grudges, mistakes, or regrets only weighs us down emotionally. Carlson reminds us that forgiveness is not about excusing someone's behavior, but about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden of resentment. Letting go of the past allows us to fully embrace the present moment and move forward with greater peace. This practice of forgiveness is crucial for maintaining healthy relationships with others and with ourselves. Carlson also emphasizes the importance of mindfulness and living in the present. Too often, we get caught up in the chaos of everyday life and forget to stop and appreciate the moment. By becoming more mindful and present, we can find joy in the small things, the simple, everyday moments that we often overlook. Whether it's a walk in nature, a conversation with a loved one, or a quiet moment of reflection, these are the moments that truly matter. Mindfulness helps us connect with the present moment and reduces the mental clutter that can make us feel stressed and disconnected. The author's advice on listening and practicing empathy is also key to building meaningful relationships. In a world full of distractions, taking the time to truly listen to others and be present in conversations is a gift we can offer to those we care about. By being a good listener, we show others that they are valued and heard, and this strengthens our bonds with them. Carlson also encourages us to choose peace over conflict, to accept others as they are, and to not sweat the small stuff that might otherwise cause tension in our relationships. At its core, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff is about learning to manage our reactions and focusing on the things that truly matter. The book is filled with practical advice for cultivating a mindset that allows us to approach life with greater ease and balance. It teaches us to prioritize our well-being over stress and to focus on the present moment rather than getting caught up in worries about the past or future. Carlson's insights are simple but incredibly powerful. By choosing to let go of trivial concerns and embracing the present moment, we can experience more peace, happiness, and fulfillment in our lives. The tools and techniques he offers, whether it's learning to forgive, practicing mindfulness, letting go of perfectionism, or setting boundaries, are all designed to help us live more fully and authentically. Ultimately, the book is about taking back control over our lives and choosing a path that leads to greater joy and less stress. The wisdom found in Don't Sweat the Small Stuff is not just about reducing stress, but about living a life that's more in alignment with our true selves. By focusing on what truly matters, letting go of the small things, and approaching life with a calm and open mind, we can live a life that is richer, more meaningful, and filled with peace. In summary, Richard Carlson's book offers a powerful and accessible guide to reducing stress, improving our mindset, and finding happiness in the present moment. His message is clear and universal. Don't sweat the small stuff. By focusing on what matters most and letting go of the trivial, we can live more peaceful, fulfilling, and joyful lives. Thank you for watching this video. I hope the insights shared from Don't Sweat the Small Stuff and It's All Small Stuff have helped you find ways to live a lighter and happier life. If you found the video helpful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel for more valuable content on personal development and stress reduction. Feel free to share this video with friends and family so we can all work together towards a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.